Welcome to Other People's Shoes. This season, we're exploring what it means to be unmade. Life can sometimes feel like an unmade bed. Messy, chaotic, and overwhelming. But here's the beauty. Every unmade bed has the potential to be remade. In Season 20, we're sharing powerful stories of people who faced their life's chaos head-on and found the courage to rebuild, turning their messes into masterpieces. Just like starting your day with a simple act of making your bed, these stories remind us that small steps can lead to extraordinary transformations. So put on your shoes and take the first step toward remaking your own life. You're about to be inspired, challenged, and encouraged in ways you never expected. This is Other People's Shoes, Season 20. Unmade. And now, here's your host, Neil Matthews.
Yes. Welcome in, one and all. Come on in. Welcome in. Other People's Shoes. Neil Matthews, Season 20. I always say at the beginning of this month that we're in August. Welcome into August. We're in homestretch time, which also makes me sad at times. Yeah, homestretch time is always good and bad. It comes with the good and it comes with the bad. Listen, this season has made me just more aware I need to be a bed maker. Let's just be honest. Stop leaving it to Elizabeth to make the bed. Listen, the problem is she's usually sleeping in said bed when I go to make it. So ladies out there, help me. How do I gently, nicely ask her, listen, I want to make the bed for you, but you're still sleeping in it? How do I go about doing that? If you would let me know, we have ways you can do that. I'm sure not really why you came here today. You came here today, as Jessica Lewis so eloquently says, to be inspired, to be challenged. Let's put on our shoes. Let's get ready to go. Welcome in my new friend, Amanda. Amanda, how are you today?
I'm so good. Thank you for having me. And congratulations on 20 seasons. That's insane. Amazing.
Is it bad to tell people already that we're already thinking about 2026? Should we talk about, when do we start really talking about 2026?
Right now.
Right now. Okay.
Yeah.
Official. We're already in production for 2026. All right. Let's just get it out of the way. We have the themes down for 2 seasons. Next year, we're tottering on 3rd season because we do 3 seasons every year. So that works out to about 18 shows per season, sometimes 17. And then we switch gears because it's fun to switch. It's fun to get changed. It's fun to have a new season to get excited and shiny and sparkly.
Yes, I love it. That just shows so much about your character.
Were you a runner in high
Was I
school?
a runner? Absolutely not. I hate running. I love to work out. I hate running. I'm not going to pretend that I like it. I can do a 5K. I could do a 5K. I mean, that's something. Something's better than nothing.
So tell me, when you did the 5K, a sprint, like a kick, they call it in running terms, you had your runner's kick towards the end, to get to the finish line fast?
I walked the rest of it. Yes. There was no runner's kick. No, I don't know what that is.
Well, in track, they call it when you turn the corner and you head towards the home stretch. There's this straightaway, typically straight and flat. And so in running, racing, even running races like 5Ks, there's generally a straightaway finish line. That's what you're in. You're part of that straightaway finish line now.
Thank you for letting me know. So that's where I am.
Yes.
I didn't know where I was.
You didn't know. Now you know. That's where you are now. So there. Well, help us with this, Amanda, because I truly love to lead off every show with this question. And that's this: what style of shoes might we find you in?
So I have a teenager and he loves the latest kicks. I complimented you, on the shoe that I see in your studio. So it's always like a statement shoe, which I love. I'm a writer and so I work from home. I'm always in my sweats, leggings, and things like that. And I feel like a good pair of sneakers just elevates your outfit. It's like a statement shoe. He's got me hooked on it. And the best part is I'm like the cool mom now. I'm not a regular mom anymore. I'm a cool mom. So I love a good shoe. And it's usually like a Nike, and it doesn't have to be super colorful. It's just a statement. I don't know how to describe it. It's just a statement shoe. You know what I'm talking about?
I might know what you're talking about. Actually have a pair of shoes back here on the shelf that have never touched Oregon ground.
Wow.
So I wore them in North Carolina. I wore them in the Dean Dome. Before I got on the plane to come home, I took them off at a restaurant in North Carolina, put them in my bag to check, and I never have worn them again.
Why is that?
North Carolina to me is sacred.
Okay.
You know, in the Bible, Moses, when he goes to the burning bush, God says, take off your shoes. You're on sacred ground.
I was going to say, so this is your holy ground.
That's my holy ground. Chapel Hill, North Carolina. Here we come.
I love it. The reverence that you have.
I mean, that's
great.
maybe a little sacrilegious. I don't know.
I mean, you said it, not me.
That's true. Yeah. All the Bible snobs got their halos on too tight. That's for those people. You're the cool mom now. You got cool kicks. And I love that you're using that terminology. Is there a brand to said kicks? Do you know it? I know you said Nike, but is there a specific style of Nike?
You know, I can't remember exactly what they're called. I think they're not Air Forces. Man, I don't know what they're called. Listen, it was more money than I've ever spent on a shoe. The amount of compliments I get makes it worth it. And it's usually from the 15 to like 18 demographic. But I like them. I mean, I like them. I think they're cool. Yeah, it elevates my sweatsuit.
Was it over 185?
Yes.
Okay. That's all I needed to know.
It was under the over-under game. It was under, I would say, like 250. You know, it's like not terrible.
That's high end. All right. Well, you go, girl. You go. All right. Well,
don't judge me, listener.
I'm not. Listen, no. This is a judgment-free zone. This is like Planet Fitness. This is a judgment-free zone. It's one of my favorite things about Planet Fitness. Not sponsored, but should be, because I talk about them a lot. Like 4 episodes coming up. Did I do the math right? 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, I had to look at the calendar to make sure. 4 episodes. You're leading us into this home stretch. I know how the season ends. It's going to be amazing. That last grouping of folks. When I thought about this unmade bed, this unmade messiness, this chaos. And I know you as a mom, you live in chaos maybe sometimes, especially with boys. Boys are messy and smelly and we're just gross. Let's just be honest. We're gross.
That's an understatement, by the way.
Trying to be tactful and nice towards your kiddos and maybe even your husband. When you think of messiness and you think of chaos and you think of something maybe being unmade that has had to be remade, what came to mind for you as part of your story?
Oh man, which part? The most excruciating part of my story, where it literally did feel like the rug got pulled out from under me. Things were one way and then things were completely different. Got a call from my husband that our son had, it's called petechiae. It was just like purple dots on his legs, like little bruises. He was never sick. My boys were always really healthy and he spiked a fever. It was just odd. We weren't the kind of parents that took our kids to the doctor for every little thing, but this was different. My husband took him to the doctor. I was working in medical sales at the time. I was like in an office and back out, and my husband called me back and he said, the doctor said it's very serious. We need to take him to CHOA, it's Children's Healthcare of Atlanta, like immediately. Dropped everything, got in the car, and I met them. We were taken back. Reese that's my son's name. He was hooked up to all the machines and they did his blood work. The doctor walked in and we found out that our precious little boy had been diagnosed with leukemia. That was the most painful moment. I was crying out to God, like, how can this be? This precious little boy that we've prayed over for years was now very sick. That was a moment where my life literally changed in a second.
Did you feel helpless?
Yes, I did. I felt helpless. I felt hopeless. I didn't know what was going to happen. My whole world had just changed. It was the darkest moment of my life for sure.
So how do you guys come out of that?
It's been a journey. We moved into the hospital, basically. It was during COVID, which they weren't allowing anyone in the room. And we still had another child. I had my teenager, Jet. I think he was maybe 11 at the time. We had just gotten guardianship of my cousin, who was 17 at the time, kids at home. And I felt stretched so thin. We were back and forth trying to take care of them and take care of our son. It was definitely very, very hard. I felt stretched very, very thin. It was a wrestling. I don't know how all of your listeners are in their belief system. I serve God through Jesus Christ, my Lord and Savior. There was a lot of crying out to him. I think in this world, especially in America, we escape so much of what we feel. We escape the hard things. I could have easily turned to alcohol to cope, to busyness, to relationships, to all kinds of things. And I just remember God really arresting that in me early on, that my ability to heal was based on my ability to feel. I felt all of it. I cried so many tears that my lips were chapped for months. I made a decision because I didn't want God to waste a single ounce of it. I knew if I wanted to comfort others one day in the same way God was comforting me, like I had to feel it. And I wanted to be able to help others walking through this one day. I wanted to make sure that I handled my pain in a way that God was going to redeem it. I mean, we have to feel it. We can't hide it. I think that was the beginning of not getting stuck in my pain, was feeling it, even as it feels so unnatural, like embracing it. This is what it is. Our son has cancer and I can't get away from it.
Where's the diagnosis now?
So he's in remission. It was leukemia. I reached remission, I would say 5 months after his diagnosis. He went through really intense chemotherapy. He had something called the Philadelphia chromosome, which is a chromosome in his body that was basically like a small cancer factory reproducing the cancer cells, which added another element of just complexity to his diagnosis. Thank God for childhood cancer research. They discovered a pill, I think like 20 years ago, and it took his chance of survival from 10% to 90%. This pill was crucial that he take every day. He was taking that every day for 3 years. So he finished up treatment like 2 years ago. And he's in remission still. He's doing great. His hair grew back. He's the most creative little boy, taller than everyone in his class. The medicine and the chemo can affect his height. It can affect his organs, his cognitive ability to think and process. He's so smart, so creative, so tall. So he's doing very well. Praise God.
That's amazing. I had braces and I hated it. I think everyone that has braces hated it. I haven't met someone yet who has said they've had braces and loved it. One day I was in the orthodontist for my little monthly cleaning, tightening, whatever they do. And my orthodontist, her and I had a really good rapport. She went to the University of Michigan. I'm not a fan of them. They did spark my Carolina fandom, so maybe I should be a fan of them. She was looking in my mouth one day during the orthodontist appointment. She noticed 3 spots on the back of my throat. She immediately yanked her hands out of my mouth as if I bit her.
Oh, gosh.
And she was freaking out. And I could tell even through her mask, through her eyes, something wasn't right. And she said, hey, have you ever noticed those spots on your throat? Now she's taking the mask down and kind of stepped away from me. And I was like, I don't know what you're talking about. So she gets a mirror and she kind of angles it just right. I can see them. And I was like, yeah, I've never noticed that. She's like, okay, where's your mom at? Is your mom here? I was like, yeah,
oh no.
Yeah, my mom's out in the lobby. And she said, I think you should go to the doctor. Something's not right. What that led to was a series of testing and blood testing and all kinds of other testing. One of the words that they threw out was leukemia.
Oh, interesting.
And I remember laying in my bed. I was probably 14 or 15. I was pretty young. And I remember crying myself to sleep.
Oh,
praying to God that I didn't have it because there was so much life. Even at 15, I recognized there was so much life still to have. And still to be able to be a part of it. Thankfully, it was just a really bad case of strep throat. That's what it ended up being.
Oh, that's all it was?
Yeah. But at the time,
you had to go through all of that.
That's it. That's what I'm trying to say. So as you're telling me this story about your son, I'm thinking to myself, I remember not saying I know how he felt because I don't.
Yeah.
I have no idea how he felt. I know how I felt. Am I going to have a girlfriend? Am I going to have a wife? Am I going to be a husband? Am I going to... All these things I aspired to be in life.
Wow.
It really showed me the power of prayer. I was sort of flirting with God, I guess is a good way to say it. We were sort of kind of in a relationship. Not really. We were talking, but not talking.
Yeah.
I was not nearly as committed as I would say I am now.
Would you have considered yourself like a believer?
I think so. Again, was I sold out? Classic song, I surrender all. I don't surrender 1/10. I surrender 1/20.
Yeah.
Probably playing a little bit of hokey pokey, if I was being honest. Like I was in, I was out. I was in, I was out. I will tell you, in that process, it did shape my prayer life, even at a young age. You said you prayed a lot. Was there anything prior to this that really affected your prayer life, or is this the moment your prayer life became more strong?
My marriage is also a huge part of my testimony, something that God has used to refine me and draw me closer to him. That's a beautiful thing, Neil, about these hard things we go through, is it's an opportunity for us to really draw closer to the Lord. If we allow it to, we have a choice at the end of the day. We can choose to, or we can choose not to. And with my husband, that was one thing that really drew me closer to God, because I got to the point where I felt like I just can't do this anymore. It just was not going well. I just carried this heavy weight of wanting to change him all the time, which it's not my job to change anyone. I carried that weight, and I think I had like a boundary issue. Like when he had a bad day, I had a bad day. He had anxiety. I somehow took it on. I struggled to separate his happiness from my own. So it was really like a boundary issue that I had too. I got to the point where it was just so heavy, me trying to force this change I longed to see. I stopped and I decided I can't keep doing this. So I committed to praying for him every morning. My marriage has gotten so bad that it's only God that's going to be able to fix what's broken right now. Almost every morning at 5 a.m., I prayed for my husband. What's really beautiful about prayer is it's really a constant surrendering of our will for the Lord's will. Every morning I felt lighter. I was like surrendering my husband to God, and I was trusting him more and more with his future. All prayer is a conversation. Like you were saying, you're laying in bed at 15 talking to God, like you're praying. So that's what I did. I got such an assurance. That's what prayer is. It gives you this assurance that you can trust God with your future, with the person you love's future, with my son's future, my husband's future. I got this really tough type of God confidence from praying for my husband. And I think that having that foundation already of talking to God, so instrumental when we found out that our son had leukemia, already had that rhythm in my life. So I would say, to answer your question, it strengthened it because I learned more about who God was. When you're desperate, I have nothing else right now. My son's life is on the line. There was like a raw dependency that I had going to him in prayer with my son's leukemia diagnosis. I would just say it was different, like in the intensity of my feelings that I was bringing before God.
This month of August is special to me. I will have been married 24 years. I met my wife at 17-ish. That's when we started dating, circa 1997.
Wait, let me do the math so I can figure out how old you are.
I was 17, yes. It's interesting. I've been in the church, feels like my whole life. I was an Awana kid. I was a youth group kid. I was a on-staff guy at church. And I've been licensed as a pastor. I've been around church my whole life. We call it Men's Advance at my church. That's the men's camp. Men don't retreat. We advance. It's stupid. I think it's dumb. I call it basketball camp because I play a whole lot of basketball. So that's what I call it. Everybody's like, you going to men's advance? I'm like, no, I'm going to basketball camp though. They're like, no, that's like men's
Neil,
advance.
whatever you want to call it.
That's what they say. They're like, whatever. They just roll their eyes. Whatever.
Neil again.
There goes Neil again. At that men's advance, there was a guy named Bill Krause there, and he was a jerk, because he said this statement. He was such a tool. He's like, how many of you pray for your wives? And there was like 2 hands that went up.
How many men were there?
Probably 50 to 60 is a good guess.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. It's a small percentage.
Yeah, very. And it got me just riled up. Listen, I know I need to pray for Elizabeth. Part of me is like, I'm not doing it till she does it, which is terrible. That's like saying I'm going to be nice when she's nice. I'm going to kiss her when she wants to kiss me. You could take that to the almost amazing extreme because you've written a book about change him. And then you have a line through it and it says, pray for him, which I think is very clever, by the way.
Well, thank you. I came up with that all by myself.
Creativeness on that one. Very well done. I think that's what I hear so many times in the circles that I run in. She needs to change.
Oh, yeah.
I don't need to change. She needs to change. I'm good.
Right.
I hear repeatedly, the man is supposed to be the spiritual leader. But it's so easy to let the queen lead. I mean, that's why she is the queen, right? I'm the royal subject. Funny. She's the queen. I just submit to her authority. Isn't that the way it works?
Text my husband. I'll give you his number when we get off here. Please tell him that. Please.
Well, here's the other thing that Bill said that was kind of made him a jerk and kind of a tool.
Okay, I was like, where's the jerk part?
Here's the jerk part and here's the tool part.
You just got convicted.
No,
tell me that.
No, stop it. Amanda, this is my show. There was no conviction. All right. He said that's God's daughter.
Oh.
And how would you feel, for those of you that are fathers that have daughters, how would you feel if the schmuck showed up to your house the way you are and tried to date your daughter? How would you feel? And I was like, Bill, that is stupid. That is dumb. You're a tool for even bringing that up.
Oh my goodness.
I said, I'd be pissed. I can say that's my show too. I said, I would never let her out the door. And he said, then why are you doing that to her?
Wow.
Why are you doing that to your wife? Why are you being the schmuck?
Mm.
And I was like, because it's easy. And he goes, what? It's easy to not treat her like the queen? You call her the queen. Why aren't you treating her as such?
Wow.
She's God's princess. Why aren't you treating her like that?
That's
I was like, you know what, Bill? I got to go play basketball. Let me come back to you on that one. Put a pin in that. We'll pick it up after I destroy some guys over here on one-on-one. Point is, Amanda, is I think people hear you say, oh, pray for your husband. Oh, I pray for him. Oh, I pray that he'll stop watching sports. I'll pray that he loves me more. I'll pray that he does this more. I'll pray that he washes the counters better. I'll pray that he unloads the dish, whatever it may be. But that's, I bet, just guessing, haven't read the book, but I'm guessing that's not what you prayed for.
No. I polled a lot of my closest friends and women on social media, the 30 areas in your partner's life where you want to see breakthrough the most. Like, what are the things that you notice? And so many of them were very similar. You just mentioned we all want the men that we're with to be the spiritual leader. What's really wild, when I was seeing my therapist a few years ago, and we were talking about this, she's like, Amanda, most couples that come in here, the woman is the spiritual leader 9 out of 10 times. That's something that women long for. And obviously to put God first, that's like the prayer of all prayers, because once God is sitting on the throne of your heart, everything else falls into its rightful place. You mentioned sports. That is a great one. I'm going to do a bonus prayer in the next edition. Get him to stop watching sports. Thank you for that, Neil. I'm going to give you credit for that. The first 3 prayers all about our hearts as women. God, change my heart, because I have sin and pride and bitterness in my own heart. Listen, when you pray for the person that you love, it's like a mirror into the state of your own soul. There are so many times I've been praying for Marcus, that's my husband. I'll just feel so convicted. I'll stop praying, whatever it is that I'm praying about. It's like God saying, like, okay, you need to pray this for yourself right now. It's been, for me, one of the biggest ways that I've grown in my walk with the Lord is praying for my husband. Prayer is just a conversation with God. My husband is driving me to spend more time with the Lord. His inadequacies. I'm just kidding. Listen, sometimes we see breakthrough, and praise God for that. My husband used to really struggle with anger and anxiety, and I've seen him get tremendous breakthrough. He still struggles with things. No one's perfect. I have seen so much breakthrough, and it's incredible. I have friends that have been married and it has not been easy for 30, 40 years. One of my really good friends is almost 80 and her marriage is still hard. She has more joy and contentment than anyone I've ever met, because she has allowed that to push her closer to God, and her relationship with the Lord has gotten strengthened through that. She's more content than anyone I know. She's more joyful than anyone I know. This is so much more than just praying for your spouse. Like, your heart will change. And Marcus saw the time I was spending with God, and he told me, we were in our kitchen one day, I'm jealous sometimes by your relationship with God. I want what you have. And that's my prayer, is that when people go through this prayer journey, are showing their partner what it's like to chase after God, that their partner then wants what they have.
I noticed on your left hand, you have a very nice ring.
Oh, well, thank you. He did upgrade it for me.
When you look down at that, what does that ring symbolize to you?
Oh, that's such a good question. No one thought we would be married today. We have gone through so much together that wearing this ring is a testament to everyone who thought we couldn't make it. Look what God has done. We would not still be married if God was not at the center of our marriage. We've gone through childhood cancer, infidelity earlier in our marriage. I am now battling breast cancer. This world is so hard. Life is so challenging as it is. It's almost impossible anymore to stay married sometimes. It's just a testament to what God has done. I'm like, look at us. Look what God's done.
I always make the joke that Hallmark movies suck.
Yeah, they're so unrealistic.
They're absolutely unrealistic. My sister has been through a number of really bad relationships, failed marriages. And I always make the joke to her, if she could just find a Hallmark guy, things would be so much better for her.
Hilarious.
I want that for her.
Mm-hmm.
So bad. And I always feel bad sometimes when I'm around her and my wife's around. Listen, my wife and I, we don't have a Hallmark marriage. We don't have a storybook relationship. We've had our valley of the shadow of deaths as well. We've walked through some really horrific stuff. Every time it gets hard, I look down and I think that ring, although it's silicone and somewhat new from Christmas this last time.
And blue,
of course. I think about the fact that it's not broken.
Aww.
That it's held up. It's stretched a little. It's come back together again.
I love that.
And there's an inscription on the inside that says 831. I was really cool in high school and I had a pager, not because I sold drugs, just because I was really cool.
Wait, was it the see-through kind where you could see the little wires?
Yes.
Oh, those were so cool. I had one too.
Yeah. Mine was smoking color. I somehow found on Netscape Navigator, we didn't have Google because that's how old I am, these like pager codes you could send out. And one of them that I really liked the most, she would send it to me quite often, was 831. And it meant 8 letters, 3 words meant for one person. That's what I love you.
Aww.
And you think about Marcus and you think about the journeys that you guys have walked through and the testimonies that you have now because of the journeys that you've walked through. Whatever your boys seen in you two that maybe they're like, I want that.
We really try to not just be hearers of the word church. We really try to make God such a conversational part of our home. And now that my son's getting older, he's vocalized that to me. He's like, I know how lucky I am that you guys walk the walk. You don't just talk the talk. We've tried to make our faith a real part of how we live at home. And I think our boys really see that in us, that it's genuine. And that really goes a long way. Kids don't care about what you say. They're like, show me. You know, they want to see that it's real. That's something that my kids have brought up lately. Like when we've been going through these really hard seasons, we have tried to be so intentional about having fun. When life is so heavy and you're going through these big traumatic experiences, we have to be intentional about having fun. That's something that we've done too and of course, my kids love that. They're like, let's go to Walt Disney World. Let's go have fun. Like they love it. I hope that they take that away, into their families is like, life is hard. You have to make time to have fun as a family and go on trips and be silly. And every Friday we go see a movie together. It's something that we do every week to kind of bring us back together as a family. Quality time is so important. We make time for our kids. Oh man, there's so many things we're not perfect at. But that's one thing is being present with them. That was a gift walking through that season with Reese. When we thought we were going to lose him, that huge perspective shift that tomorrow's not promised. I want to be present for my boys. You just never know in this life what's going to happen. Being present for our kids is something that we've tried to do. That was a gift that came from this season with Reese, was that perspective shift. Tomorrow's just not promised.
What year did you get married again?
We got married in 2009.
I don't often ask this. You don't have to tell me exactly, but how old roughly were you?
I see what you're doing. I think here, let me make up a number so I can still be 27 here. How can I make this work?
All right. So I'll just help you. So however old you were in 2009, what are 4 words you needed to hear to maybe help set you up for success in your marriage?
4 words.
Yes, ma'am. You being the writer, wordsmith, I feel like this is just a layup for you. That's an easy basket, by the way, in basketball.
I know what a layup is. Oh, gosh, 4 words.
That you needed to hear or maybe would have loved to have heard.
Yeah. I'm going to count. I would say it's nothing profound to know what love means. Know what love means. So it's a sentence. Know what love means. If we define love by some worldly standard, it's set up for failure. Like you were talking about the Hallmark. We romanticize love with these movies, our culture, and like it's some easy, beautiful fairy tale. And it's not. It's really hard. Going to God's word to define love, that love is patient, love is kind, love rejoices in truth. Oh my goodness. Just go into that verse and replace love with your name and challenge yourself. Like, that's hard. Is Amanda patient? Is Amanda kind? Does Amanda rejoice in truth? Not all the time. That would have been so helpful to have that biblical definition. Sometimes we just get so confused and we compare our spouses and we look at what that couple over there is doing. And just to know, let me just try to be patient today because that's loving my husband well. Let me try to be kind today because that's loving my husband well. That would have been really good to hear.
I'm guessing you guys don't golf together?
We top golf together.
Okay. So I don't know what happened. One day my wife came to me a number of years back and said, I want to get a set of golf clubs so I can play with you. No, this is not a good idea. So she did. And they sat in the garage for a really long time. One season, summer out here in Oregon, it gets nice every now and then. Without the smoke, she says, let's go golfing on a Saturday. I'm like, this is going to be awful. But it wasn't. It was great. She's not great. She'll tell you. She's not fantastic. I think it's the act of doing it together.
Yeah.
And then she found for Father's Day, or maybe even my birthday, she found this Argyle polo. And I absolutely love it. I absolutely love it. It's hideous. It's absolutely ugly. People would look at it and go, that's a golf shirt. But here's the wacky part. She found a matching squirt shorts and a skirt. So however you say that in Georgia.
You squirt.
Thank you. I thought I was saying it right, but it matches the polo. And so she wore that one time and I wore the polo. And so anyway, we sort of matched.
That's great.
And again, it's not about the activity. It's about the togetherness.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was telling one of the guys at work when I worked at a body shop, hey, so my wife and I went golfing together, yada, yada, yada. And my manager says to me, he says, hey, how's your golf game coming, Neil? And I said, well, it's hard. Golf's a hard game. It's difficult. There's challenges. I said, Steve, it's kind of like marriage. And he goes, it's too early for that philosophy junk. And he kind of dismisses it.
He said, can I have my coffee first?
Yeah, kind of dismisses it, throws it aside. And then I saw him later in the day around the shop and he says, hey, come here a second. Matthews, come here. I'm like, okay. So I come in. He's like, shut the door. So I shut the door. I'm like, did I say something? I'm like rolling through my head of all the things I'd done that day. Was it good, bad, whatever?
Yeah.
And he said, you said something earlier this morning, got me thinking. And I was like, oh no, what did I'm thinking? Verbal processor, what did I say? Oh man. He said, you really think golf's like marriage? And I go, yeah, Steve, you said to me once when I first told you I was playing, he said, don't try to change everything at once. Focus on one thing every time you go out and make it a different thing, but focus on one thing every time you go out. And you told me that the course will tell me what to work on. And I thought that was kind of poppycock because, spiritual, you're not a Christian, I am. And this last round I played with my new boss and I was remembering what my old boss, Steve, had told me, that the course will tell me what to do, what to work on that day. And that round I worked on my breathing. I know it sounds dumb to some, but before I would go to hit, I would breathe and then I would swing and I would do very well. But I wonder about that in life sometimes and even in our marriage. Before we swing, before we go to do whatever it is we're going to do to react, if we thought about, okay, what's one thing I can work on in this moment? What's this one thing I can work on today? Again, not try to fix everything at once. You're not gonna. It's overwhelming. It's too messy.
Oh, yeah.
Start with making your bed, the baby steps. What if in my marriage, instead of reacting to my wife first, I took a breath, not a... but a
mumbling under your breath.
Yeah, but a cleansing breath to say before I responded.
I love that.
Would I bring the breath of life or the breath of destruction? For you, has there been moments of the breath of destruction? Were you the one that was like,
absolutely not.
That was like, listen, if you'd only do these 7 things better, my life would be better.
All your fault.
But if I gave you 3 things to change your husband, you don't have to necessarily share them. You can, in your head, maybe share them. That's what I feel like wives and maybe even husbands both need to hear today. It's not about the big stuff in life. You don't have to change them all at once. It's a baby step. It's a step by step. It's a week by week. It's a day by day. It's a moment by moment process.
Moment by moment. That's it.
But how did Amanda get there? How did you get there? And maybe others could follow in your footsteps.
I am a fixer by nature. I'm a fix-it girl. If there's a problem in a conversation, someone brings a problem to me, I'm like, I have the solution, which is actually really annoying. If you've ever talked to anyone and you're like, I kind of just want you to listen.
I don't know anybody like that.
Yeah. You've always got, and my husband does that too. I'll pour my heart out. He'll give me 3 words of logic is actually the answer that I needed. Dude, I just want you to listen. Just listen. So that's my natural disposition. I'll give you an example of how this kind of goes down in my house. I told you my husband, he used to struggle really bad with anxiety, and he's gotten way better. He would be in his office and he would kind of start spiraling about a work issue. He works from home. He's an engineer. And so he was like working computer engineer. I don't know what he does in there, but he gets paid.
He clicks buttons and
he
types
clicks
on
buttons
the,
and then
there's
money that goes into our account.
It's amazing.
Something happens in the middle. So he was in there. We call it spiraling in our house. There's this issue and then he starts spiraling and I hear him in there. And my natural reaction, and because I've done it so many times, is to walk in there and fix whatever it is and help him and talk him through it and like insert myself. And sometimes that would I say sometimes, most of the time that would go bad. It would not go well because he's already heated. Then I would kind of match his heatedness. And it didn't go well. I don't know why it took me so long to figure this out. This one example, he's down there having his moment. I'm upstairs in our room and I hear him and I'm about to walk downstairs and I fight the urge. I thought, you know what? I've been praying for him in the mornings. I'm going to pray for him in the moment. And so I stopped what I was doing. I said the quickest little prayer, like 5 seconds, like, God, just give my husband peace right now. Obviously having a moment about something. It was probably 30 minutes later that my husband walked up the stairs and he asked me, Amanda, did you just pray for me? Yes, actually, I did. And he's like, oh my goodness, I felt it. I had a wave of peace come over me and my heart rate went down. And he's like, I could think straight. And it's like that moment of anxiety left me. And that's actually when I shared for him. I'm like, hey, I've actually been praying for you every single morning. I've committed to praying for you. So that's actually when I shared what I was doing. But what a different reaction and response. How cool that I got to see God answering my prayer in real time. That doesn't happen a lot. It was amazing. And that just reminded me, I can do this more often in the moment.
Well, I think so often we feel like we have to have the answer right there in the moment. We have to be the one to solve the problem. But yet there's somebody who is way smarter than us that already has the answer solved. I'm just saying. Yeah. Amanda, how can folks get a copy of the book? And is there a social media of choice you love to hang out on the most? And then we'll play our game.
Yes, I'm on Instagram the most. So they can find me on Instagram or my website, amandahayhurstwrites.com. You can buy Pray for Him on my website. You can also buy on Amazon. I've released Pray for Her, so you can also pick that up. And that is also on Amazon and my website.
So wait, there's a dude version of the book?
Yes. I'm sending it to you, buddy. And then you can talk crap about me behind my back. Now, I'm going to text you and be like, hey.
No, I thought this was I thought this was all on the girl. Like we're supposed to be the provider. You're supposed to be the prayer.
At the end.
Oh, man. There's homework?
Have a little gotcha moment.
There's homework. All right. This is our fun game we like to call Heel Hustle. So my friend Zach is going to tell you more about it. Zach, take it away.
It's now that time in the show to play the fastest growing game in the podcast world. We call it Heel Hustle. Today our guest will try to answer all 6 of these questions in 60 seconds or less to win an Amazon gift card. Amazon not responsible for this commercial spot, nor did they pay to let us use their name. Audience, feel free to play at home. Are you ready? Let's put 60 seconds on that clock. Ready, set, hustle!
The game begins in 3, 2, 1.
All right, Amanda, one person you would trade places with for a week.
Who's still alive?
Sure, whatever. Whoever.
Lisa Hayhurst.
Lisa
She's
Turkhurst.
by Michael Jordan. Yeah.
All right. Guilty pleasure.
Oh, chocolate. Lots of chocolate.
Okay. Best compliment you've ever received.
Someone actually thought that I was Amanda Peet, the actress, which is a huge compliment.
Okay. Worst piece of advice that you've ever received.
You don't really need to stay married. It's better. Yeah, you don't really need to stay married. Not the best advice.
It's awful. What is something you wish you were better at?
Probably being more patient with my kids sometimes.
Ran out of time. What is something that never fails to make you laugh?
John Christ, is that how you say his last
Yes.
name? Hysterical. He always makes me laugh.
I've shared a stage with him.
No, you haven't.
True story.
What?
Yep.
Oh,
Twice.
when? Where?
Twice.
Why?
Twice, actually. Yeah. Yeah, so I was at a youth conference years ago, and he was there. He was the MC of the event, actually, and they did a game at the beginning of the time of this youth conference in California. Picked to go up on stage, and you were playing for an Apple Watch. I had an Apple Watch on, and so I quickly put my hand behind my back and took it off because I was going to give it to one of my buddies who was with me at the conference. And I got to the finals, and then somebody noticed that I had one already, so they gave it to the other guy. That's the only reason why I didn't win. Yeah.
Wait, so how long ago was that? So he's been around for a minute?
2017, roughly. So
okay.
So yeah,
That's
it's been that long. Gosh, it seems like yesterday.
Many moons ago.
Seems like yesterday. Well, Amanda, I just want to say thanks so much for coming on. If somebody's listening to you right now, though, and they have that one spouse, guy or a girl, doesn't matter. And they're like, listen, I can't pray for him or her.
Mm-hmm.
It's just too hard. You don't know our story. You don't know what we've been through. You don't know the hurt and heartache he's given me, she's given me. Your response to them would be what?
Well, without getting into so much of my own story and going back there was infidelity, which I think is one of the hardest things that you could go through. My husband and I, by the grace of God, have gotten to the place where we are both praying for each other. Listen, your story is not too far gone. You're not too far gone. Your spouse isn't too far gone. We're talking about the all-powerful God, the God of the Bible, of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, the one true God. He can do anything. No one is too far gone. Sometimes we just need to hear someone else's story to give us hope. And just let my story be that for you today, friend, if that's you. If you're not in community, when we get weary and tired of praying and we feel hopeless, it's community, people that are for us and for our spouses that can really spur us on in those moments. So I would say to find good community. And if you don't have it, maybe just start praying for that. That will help spur you on in those moments where you feel like it's helpless.
I love that. That was so good. Well, again, Amanda, thanks so much for hanging out with us today. We really appreciate all that you gave, and we appreciate your family for letting us borrow you for a moment or so.
Wish I got the gift card though, but thank you.
Sometimes it just doesn't work out. All right, guys and gals, kids and campers alike, guess what? That is it. That is all. That is our show today. So fun fact, when I went to buy my engagement ring, the store that I went to first asked me if I wanted to get a credit card to buy the ring. I was like, no, I'm going to pay for it in cash. Do you have a layaway program? They didn't. So I went to another store and I went inside and this very nice young lady helped me. And I said, listen, I'm looking for, I don't even know if you have it, but I'm looking for a diamond that is in the shape of a heart. They had one. And I'm just wondering about you guys right now, so much in this moment, the process that goes through to make a diamond. It's forged in pressure out of coal. I know some of you know that, but that's what marriage is about. It's pressure. It's not always pretty. It's not always Disney. It definitely is not always Hallmark. If you're driving, if you're running, if you're doing whatever, laundry, just do me a favor. If you're married, look down at that ring. Much like I asked Amanda, what does it mean to you? What do you see? And if you're not married, if that ring is missing, don't worry, you're not missing out. But maybe this is a prayer for you today. Lord, if it be your will, let me love you the way I should love my spouse. Let me see my spouse the way you see my spouse and see what happens. You try that for a week. Let me know if you're willing to do that. OPSpodcast.com is a great place to let me know. You can let me know on the socials. We're there. OPS Podcast Show under Facebook, Instagram, and X. And don't forget this. So very important before we go. Do not forget. Remember, when you walk in other people's shoes, you really do get a different perspective on life. And guess what? We're going to be right back here next Wednesday when we walk in other people's shoes.